Welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and
Knights of the Round Table.
Oh, nice. I'm Kristen, and with me I have
Guinevere.
Maria.
Did you say Guinevere?
Yeah, Guinevere's in the original.
Oh, that's Erica and Maria. This is a book podcast. We swear, we spoil, we talk about sex, and we suck at all of it. We suck at podcasting. This week we are doing a book. That's exciting. And the book
highly requested.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that where this came from?
Folks have been asking us to do this for years. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I've been telling you guys. People have asked us to cover this.
So the book that we're doing this week is Legendborn
by Tracy Deonn.
Highly rated.
Dude,
Highly rated.
148,000 ratings. It's a 4.33. This is like Erica's bread and butter of ratings.
Let me say at the start of this, I did not have time to finish this book.
It's like back to the beginning with Kristen.
I've been doing so fucking good.
I know, and I've been.
Here's the thing. Iron Prince books are fucking 7,000 pages long.
Don't blame Bryce for this.
I'm blaming Bryce, okay? That was 1,400 pages that I got through, and then I finished the other one. I watched the movie. I did the best that I could. I ran out of time with this one. I'm still going to finish this book because I'm probably a little more than halfway. So I feel like I have, and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. I feel like I have enough knowledge. However,
I didn't watch YouTube
just
videos.
reading and listening to it, I was confused. I was confused anyway. So you're going to have to clarify a lot of stuff.
I'm going to be confused along with you.
Clarify.
It's just, I have a hard time with like different names of things. And there was
I don't remember a lot of the lore
like
names.
pages versus this, which we'll get into. We'll get
Which
into.
again, I read this a couple weeks ago, so I'm. Yeah.
This is a young adult, right?
It is.
It is a young adult.
So I think that was the
fantasy.
biggest. I don't know if I was in the mood to read a young adult at the time. I think that was the biggest problem for me personally.
My biggest problem is I don't like retellings.
This is a retelling?
It's Knights of the Round Table. It's fucking...
Yeah, but wouldn't that just
King
be
Arthur.
inspired by?
It's a retelling.
Is it really?
It's a retelling.
Why did we do 2 young adult retellings? Why did we do that?
I don't know.
Erica?
No, it wasn't
I mean,
Erica's
Maria,
fault. This
I
is
looked
my
at you
fault.
and I said,
I brought these titles to the table.
I guess it fits
I've
and
had this book on my TBR for a very long time.
Okay, so I went to add it and I also had it on my TBR.
Yeah,
and
we've
I
been
didn't.
saying we're going to read this for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
People have been asking for
It's
years.
got everything I love in it.
It's got everything that I thought I would want in a book.
Wait, you didn't like this?
This is going to hurt people.
I know. You liked it.
I gave it a 4.
I think that when I
I
finish
gave it a
it,
3.
I think when I finish it, I'm going to like it. Here's the thing. Listening to it, did not like it. Started reading it, loved it. I was like, okay, yeah, I can get into this.
I read it physically, and I think my biggest problem with it was not so much that like I just can't get past the retelling part of it. Like I just don't like, and on top of such, fucking King Arthur retelling. I'm like,
Yeah, so that's
See,
my gripe.
That's why I don't
fucking
care.
hate it. And I'm so tired. I'm so fucking tired of being at a school that's like
That's fair.
got
We did a lot of
That
school
is
books.
very fair.
else going on, and there's a
That's very
bigger
fair.
underground
Okay, well,
society.
with that in mind, start thinking about what you're going to bring to the table because I tried.
No, I thought you did great.
I gave us good ones.
I wanted to read this book. I've never not wanted to read
Okay,
this
good.
book. But I'm just so tired of this genre having the same
yeah.
plot line
That's
for
fair.
everything.
Yeah.
But so
Give me
the
something
reason
else.
I don't care that it's the King Arthur thing is I don't know shit about King Arthur.
That's why it was
So
a
it
little
felt
hard
fresh.
for me because I didn't know.
No, but it just felt more fresh to me.
So yeah, I didn't know what was a retelling, what wasn't. I don't know what was
Yeah.
like a true like reimagining. I don't know what's the actual lore of King
I
Arthur.
thought it was
I know,
good
but like
that I didn't know.
Merlin, like
I knew there was a Merlin.
Yeah,
knew
I don't
there
know
was a
anything
King
about
Arthur,
Merlin.
but
Yeah.
I don't.
All I know is the stone and the fucking.
I know the fucking sword.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's why
It
this
just-
still felt fresh.
I think the team that they assembled kind of felt a little Knights of the Round Table-esque.
Yeah,
Well, I
it's
think
You know what I
supposed
mean?
to.
Like that's the.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, and then like Merlin having issues with what's his
The
face,
Morganite people.
yeah, like it just like it was all very, and like again, like I've seen a lot of. Again, I've seen a lot of fucking movies. I've seen a lot of fucking King
you-
Arthurs. I've seen a lot of fucking.
What was the name of the King Arthur cartoon from like the book, the movie we had as a kid?
There was a King Arthur.
There was a King Arthur like Excalibur movie.
I almost feel like I know what you're talking
I
about.
think it
Blonde
might have been
kid.
called Excalibur.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
I
called that.
never wanted to see it. I never liked seeing it. So that's why I'm not
Did you
good with
watch
Arthur.
Merlin?
No, I never watched the show.
I never watched it either.
Back in the day when I was using to do my fan videos on YouTube, people used to make videos of Merlin. So I
Merlin
always like
was a
knew it
big-
because there was always that big underlying like gay underlying storyline between Merlin and
Yeah.
Arthur. Everyone wanted them to
Yeah.
be gay together.
Merlin was a decent show
I heard
for
it
a
was good.
while.
I heard it was really good.
I actually for a King Arthur, I like King Arthur in a movie setting more.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know enough
I think
about
I
him.
can tolerate it more than a movie, but I don't think I like.
I don't
King
know
Arthur
shit
in general.
about
I
it,
don't like
but I
medieval.
like that. I love
Yeah,
medieval.
I think I don't like medieval.
I love it. I love that lore. I love knights. I love all that shit. So I love swords. I love.
So maybe if this was set up in like medieval times, you'd like it more.
That's why I think, yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, okay. Let's do a 60-second before we get into the plot. Maria volunteered to do
I
the
did not
60-second.
volunteer.
So Maria, you're.
I was
on it.
volunteered. Is that the word for it?
Wait, who wrote this book again?
Tracy Deonn.
Did we say that? I don't know. if we
Yes,
said-
I
okay.
did. This
Um,
came out in 2020.
did it really?
September 2020.
A lot of people. So when I was doing my YouTube research, I would say almost every single video that I saw loved this book.
Yeah, it's highly rated.
Actually, you know who had some interesting takes was
Kayla?
Jess Owens. Is that her last name?
Yes.
She did the book tea.
Yes.
She had some gripes that I thought
Did
were really.
she?
Yeah, I think she gave it 3 stars.
Okay.
For this book?
Yeah.
I think she
I like
had-
Jess Owens.
I actually like every single thing that she said. I was just like, oh, yep. That's
Yeah,
how I was feeling.
haven't got. I should go back and look at it then.
It was pretty interesting.
The big thing with King Arthur and like that lore is legacy.
yeah.
So like that's like the big thing
It
is
gave
like
me
is
fucking
uniting like
Ninth House vibes with the secret society.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
so like that's
Definitely
the big overarching like similarity of it all is like this idea of like uniting or finding your legacy, finding your like bloodline shit,
your place
like,
in the world.
not just that, but like the blood, your true inherited bloodline, right?
Yeah.
Like her finding out. I don't know. It's just it's a lot of.
Yeah. That's fair.
I don't give a shit about fucking bloodlines.
Let's do this 60-second. If you're new to this podcast, we do this thing where we attempt to explain the entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less.
I miss when Erica did these.
This week, Maria's going to do
Legendborn.
Legendborn. I don't know why I keep wanting to saying Bloodborne, but it's Legendborn.
weight of blood, and so things
Oh.
like.
Blood is on my mind. That's great. All right, Maria, here we go.
No, wait.
Legendborn. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Bree Matthews has recently lost her mother and she gets to go into college early. But when she gets to this college is very prestigious in her area. And she goes to this like cliffside thing, like a campfire, and sees this kind of magic happening. And through this, she comes across a sort of secret society based off of the King Arthur lore. It's real. They're called Legendborn, and they are basically the keepers of keeping these demons from crossing through these portals
30.
to destroy the world. But these portals keep opening, more demons keep coming, and so she's also trying to figure out if her mother was truly murdered and not actually killed by accident, a car accident. So she's infiltrating this Legendborn thing, falls in love with the main guy who's King Arthur's like true descendant, but at the same time she's having a thing with this other guy too, which I kind of want them instead. And
10.
we find out towards the end that it's actually the father of her boy toy that wants the war to come and Arthur to be called, and things go crazy from there. A lot of shit happens.
3, 2, 1. Wait,
Wait,
isn't
which ones are you talking about for each?
What?
Nick?
is the boy, the blonde. Nick is like the
I know which
cutesy.
one's the one that you
the
want.
other one, the guy we see in fucking the chapter 1.
Sir,
His
yeah.
name with an S.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I
what's his
feel
name?
like we're gonna get
Sven?
what's that?
Sven?
I don't know how to say his name.
Me neither. I know who you're talking
He's
about.
the Merlin.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
do you
he's Merlin.
don't think that
I don't want Nick.
you know
and
that
her.
she's the King Arthur
She is now.
Yeah.
Yes, but in initially,
and he's Sir
was.
Lancelot, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the twist.
That's the twist, which I didn't get to. Sorry, but she's a true descendant of King Arthur. So he calls on her essentially when this thing happens. There's a big like ritual. But what I was telling you, what's his name? Samhain.
Yeah,
It's
Swelvin.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's spelled. I didn't read it.
I know what you're
physically.
talking
listened
about.
to it.
Yeah.
He was from the beginning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In chapter 1, I go, that's her boy. Enemies to lovers.
That's what I thought.
I thought that too.
I'm like, that's our boy.
And then she
I
started
liked that
falling
it
for
wasn't.
Nick.
I
liked
think
that
it's
it
a
wasn't.
Stefan and Damon thing.
Yeah.
I think we're being swerved
Yep.
to give the cutesy boy, like it's the teddy bear, the
But didn't he
golden
say that he was
retriever.
in love with Nick too? At some
I
point,
think he's bi.
okay.
So herein lies my biggest issue with this book is in like the first chapter, essentially.
Okay.
She accepts magic so fucking fast to the point where I was just
Wouldn't
like,
you?
if I saw like this thing happen, I would have a crisis. I wouldn't just be like, oh, King Arthur's real and I'm a Legendborn. Am I wrong? Like it literally happens so fast. It's like the first 5 pages, she sees magic, and then like 2 pages later, she's like, I'm a Legendborn, or you know what I mean? Like no, she accepts it so fucking fast. Jess
She
says the same
accepts that
thing.
magic's real.
Like there's no way
but
I
she
would
doesn't accept her role in it.
The timing is insane. It's literally insane.
I mean, there's so much lore to get
It's
through.
very quick.
I can't. And then like she asks a million questions about it, and I'm just like, I would need
Harry
a fucking
Potter was quick
second.
too, though. He was like, "Oh shit."
Well, he wanted to escape his reality so bad. Like he was literally getting abused. So I understand him being like, yes, take me off this island in the middle of an ocean, please. Thank you.
How did they get there?
True.
How did they get groceries to this like one island?
But okay, so Legendborn, I talked to you guys about this. So the biggest thing is she lost her mom. I did a little bit of research. The author who wrote the book has also lost her mom. Speaking as somebody who's lost her mom, I thought the way that she wrote grief in this book was really interesting. I think a lot of people will connect with it. Myself, I had a hard time because I think like I highlighted a couple of them. It was kind of like her reaction to how people treated her grief really bothered me. It was kind of, she would get upset when people would say, I'm sorry for your loss. And she would hit him with the like, my mom's not lost, she's dead. Or, you know, people who would say like, I'm thinking about, or not even I'm thinking about you, but just like certain things. The way I see grief is people don't know how to process death. I think that we need to give people a lot more grace. I know when my mom died, I was just happy if somebody was like, hey, how are you doing? Or I'm sorry for your loss. I love when people said that because it meant that like people are thinking about you. So I don't know. It happened so quickly in that book. It was like the first couple pages and it didn't sit well with me. And I think maybe that tainted a little bit of my reading experience. And I had to remind myself, hey, everybody handles grief differently. And I think she's a young character and trying to
She's
put
16.
myself. Yes.
She's itty bitty.
16.
So trying to put myself in her shoes, I can understand her anger. I think like that
I
was
resonate with her
yeah,
anger. I
yeah.
think her reactions to the loss of her mother in general was very like I teared up at moments. I was like, damn, I feel it. I feel the anger of losing someone that you don't
Yeah.
want to lose at that young age.
She lost her so abruptly too.
so
where-
abruptly, and also they had just had a fight
Yes.
right before because she applied for this school without telling her mother and tells her towards the end when she got accepted, like, hey, I'm getting into this amazing school. Her mom didn't want her to go. Her mom was very sheltering.
Her mom definitely. I mean, God,
Knew
this
she
is
had
so
something.
Fucking like the same shit all.
I think we can really deep dive though into young adult and how similar all of these books
Just feels
are.
like it feels like I'm reading this, and like I read the same thing over and over, and it still feels like I'm reading the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Because you're reading the same thing over and over.
We are reading the same thing over. It's
I
the
get
same.
what you're saying.
And
It's
like,
the
and then
school-
people, you know what? I'm gonna go on my fucking grand
Do it.
stand
Here you
about
go.
this.
She hasn't had her high
You
horse
know
today.
what? Fucking people get on their fucking high horse about like how tropes are ruining books and this, that, and the fucking other thing. What about like the OG tropes of like the fucking chosen one and mom's dead and dad's dead and orphan and oh you're fucking finding out that you're out of school and it's now mystical and magic and
Trials.
It's the same fucking framework for every single one of these shitty books.
Here's the
I'm
thing.
saying shitty book. I don't mean shitty book. Same one of these fucking shitty books. And then we get into and then people online are like, oh my God, enemies to lovers is so fucking ruining everything. And it's like, is it? Or is it the fact that like every single person doesn't have a fucking mom?
Here's the thing though, it works.
It doesn't. I'm bored. I'm sick
You are.
of fucking finding out the brother is not dead. I'm sick of the mom being low key fucking good when she acts bad. Like,
Do you think the mom's
I'm
actually
just-
dead? Yeah.
You know what? It could be because it could be she's not dead because I've seen that happen a fucking million times.
She has to be dead.
Yeah. Why?
But I've seen that happen a million times too, where she's not actually fucking dead.
That's true. Well,
It's
her
so
mom is.
fucking tired.
I think it's because it's like the catalyst of. We assume a Merlin kills her, right?
A Merlin comes to erase her memories, and by her I mean Bree, our main character, her memories of something. Like she's able to tell when someone's meddled with her mind.
Do you know why they do that? Why they kill
Tell
the
me
mom?
why.
Why?
They kill the mom. Think of it like I just drew a figurine on a piece of paper. I'm gonna cut this bitch out, and then none of the others like. Because when you're 16, like your mom's gonna be like, "Where the fuck are you?" So they're cutting
her dad
away.
was
All
still
Her dad
around.
does that.
I know, but like they're cutting away like all like the loose ends of everything. You know what I mean? Like, and eventually, like it'll just stand on its own. The dad probably fucking knows about shit too, but
I think it's just the driving plot. Like
I don't think I need a kickstart here. The kickstart could have just been found out about magic.
So
Remember,
this
they
book
can't
is
both exist.
no. This book is different though because of the author's backstory. She wrote this book because she lost her mom, and this is so after Bree. I did a lot of research on the author because I thought it was really interesting. After Bree was something that that author resonated with because she actually felt that way when she lost her mom, which I could totally.
So she wrote, yeah. Okay.
So for those who don't know, after Bree is Bree in herself when after losing her mom, she calls herself After Bree, this person who's angry,
Which feels kind of
and
like
different, less
I think that's
forgiving.
super accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
and,
change.
And
It's
I
a
think
changing
that was
thing.
the catalyst of her writing this book because she resonated with the
That makes
characters so
sense.
much. So, but I get what you're saying.
Arguing for all books.
I
not
get
this
what you're
book.
saying with the trope of like a parent is lost, but I think the reason that they do it, same with Disney, it's the same shit.
Always
Yes,
Disney.
The
I think
dead
it's-
mother thing.
I think it's because it's so powerful and it changes a person, and I think it helps move a story depending on what the story is. But it's such a real. It's like the worst thing that can happen to a person if you're close with your parent.
100%. My rebuttal to that is, what is one of the best fucking Disney movies that's come out in the last 10 years?
Frozen.
Moana.
Oh, I feel like a lot of little
no
kids
dead
would say
parents there.
Frozen.
No dead parents there.
Guess
Dead
what?
grandma.
Dead parents and Frozen.
Dead grandma, but
Dead grandma.
she just fucking turned into a wave.
Yeah, but she used her as a catalyst to keep going on her
Exactly.
journey. I cried my eyes out for grandma.
Yeah.
I
I
think
cry every time.
it tugs on the heartstrings. It's motivation. It's a lot. I don't know. I get it.
But that's like, but my point isn't so much that, it's that like now people are like shitting on tropes in general, and they're shitting on the wrong tropes, in my opinion. Like
you're just mad
it's
about
just
it,
this
yeah.
like constant talk about like, oh, like tropes are like people are only reading tropes because they want the one bed or they want this or they want that.
that's what I said. They're only marketing tropes.
I agree.
They're
with
only
that.
marketing tropes.
This is the author's fault. Blame them.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I
They're
know
marketing
that. I know that.
They said this is selling.
But the real problem is that I'm fucking reading the same fucking book over and
I'm
over.
gonna need you to take a break.
Don't
and
read
get
young
off to
adult
talk.
anymore because this is just a very young adult heavy trope.
Also, in this case,
I know.
it
This
pushes
is why I
her
don't like
to
young adult.
learn her history.
yeah.
Without
Yeah.
her losing her mother, she wouldn't have learned her having this magic that's different from
I think
the
we gotta
Merlin
move
magic.
on from that because I
Yeah.
do get that.
Yeah. But the
In this-
school itself is
To college.
Yeah. I stopped. I didn't like finish reading, so you're gonna have to like fill
Oh,
me
that's
in.
right. I forgot. Okay.
Does she go through trials?
Yeah, the trials happen.
Okay, so explain to me what the fuck a page versus a whatever versus a.
fucking
Fuck the
no.
words.
That was the hardest thing for me.
Okay, so there's the scions,
Scions.
right? So they're the ones that are like the main descendants. Think of it as like Arthur, whatever. the
So
other
they're
people are.
knights.
So think of like their knights,
So,
I guess.
okay,
and they
so
all have like their kind of
There's
like.
13. The lore is there's 13.
Thank God she knows the lore.
Yeah, tell me
for
the
it.
lore.
There's 13 like warrior, whatever, like
Knights
knights
of the
the round table, right?
Okay.
And those are the people that are there to like help King Arthur, and like they're his like tried and true fucking like
Is this a
people.
true story?
No, it's fictional.
Okay.
I've always felt that. I was like, is
Yeah.
it real? Is it not?
Yeah, because it like kind of feels a little bit, but But yeah, like the knights basically like they all have their own like strengths and weaknesses, and that's why like King Arthur likes to have like all of them because they're like real obviously very good at like hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that, but like they all bring a different like perspective and different like talents and
What are they
abilities
fighting?
to the table.
What?
What are they fighting?
The demons.
The
In
demons.
the lore?
In the lore, I don't think so.
Like,
Oh,
what's
in the lore?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the story of the
They're
like.
I
Where
feel
does
like King
Merlin
Arthur-
fit? Is Merlin part of the King Arthur
King
lore?
Arthur, if I'm remembering correctly, was all like it was like Game of Thrones style-esque, like where people like wanted to be on the throne.
That's kind of the vibes I got too. But was there a Merlin in?
In King Arthur, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Merlin.
I can't believe I asked if it was real.
Merlin is basically like the magical
Wizard.
wielder, like wizard.
Yeah.
In some variations, he's been like kind of like a psychic type, like
I think a Doctor Strange.
person that like can help guide him and help like kind of in some variations has manipulated the timelines or like manipulated people, and like Merlin's always kind of been a morally gray character. Has traditionally been a morally gray
Kind of
character.
seems like that in this book too.
He's
The
always
Merlins.
He's
Yeah.
never been
Yeah, they have the tendency of going crazy if they're not like in check.
But they're
because they have
supposed
demon
to-
blood in them.
But they're supposed to keep everybody safe, or
They're like the police,
Like
of
the
this.
judges,
Yeah,
almost,
they're kind of like the governments.
okay.
Of this, if they keep people in line,
but they're
that
really
scary.
I mean, they're powerful and all of that, and like this is what I don't like love about the lore of all this is because there's just so many like names for things.
Yeah, I was
and,
confused about like. So she's a Legendborn, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's also a page. What is page? I didn't understand page.
I think it's just like a fucking newbie.
Yeah, it's like the recruit.
Oh, okay, okay.
You're my recruit. I'm gonna have you as my.
But a
that's a page.
Legendborn is
It's
somebody.
just her. That's her
that's
legacy.
just what they are. Like they're ones who
you
who
can
are
see
part
magic.
of this. Yeah.
You can understand like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
world.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
then there's also like there's the people who don't see magic, and that's
Forget what
like
they're
basically
called.
the Muggles.
I had a
Yeah.
hard time picturing the scene on the cliff where we're seeing this like shimmering thing because like what was Time doing? Like
Time.
so like they're like attacking this demon, but people are around them like normal.
No, they were already thrown out.
Oh yeah, but
By
I guess
then,
it was
someone
like,
was like, "Get the fuck out of here, party's over."
but it was still like moving around the party.
it was above them,
And nobody
But
noticed?
only people who are Legendborn can see it.
Okay, interesting.
Well, they're trying to become corporeal. They're trying to get enough power to be able to be seen.
Oh,
And that's why the Merlins and the Legendborn are trying to stop these things are coming through the portals.
got it.
Because they're gonna destroy the world,
What's their? Oh, I was gonna say, what's their motive?
Destroy the world.
That's it.
take over.
Okay, so
And Arthur and them have basically the magic they have. It goes line by line, so it continues through the ages.
got it.
And the crazy thing is that once you're called by your scion, which is what that person is, right? You at that point are gonna die.
Ooh.
Like your lifespan is cut short when you're called. So most of them just live off their lives because nothing has been extensive enough to where they have to be called.
Got
But
it.
Nick's father wants it to happen. Like
Okay.
I think because he wasn't called as Arthur's descendant. He wants his son, Nick, to be Arthur and bring on this war and like I don't know why men. So he's the one that's been opening portals. And it relates to Bree's mother because Bree's mother was at that school the last time a big portal had opened. So that's why Merlin has been watching her this entire time to see what she remembers.
So did we find out if she was killed by a Merlin?
She was not killed. So we find out she just died by accident.
Oh, that sucks.
But also we find out that women in her line cannot both have this power at the same time.
Oh,
So
So she couldn't have ever.
once
Which
Bree
again makes sense that
would've-
mom died.
So
Yeah.
once Bree's powers would have come in, mom dies.
what was the book we read recently?
Parallel.
That did that.
Oh yeah, Parallel.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's what I thought too. I was like, oh, it's parallel.
Fucking
That's
common
wild.
So that's
trope.
what happened.
Okay.
And then later on, Bree's dad gives Bree a locket or some kind of jewelry box.
I really like the
That
dad.
was like, I love the dad too.
Yeah.
The dad felt like
your dad, kind of.
Yeah, it was like a real dad.
Yeah.
She had given him a locket thing or like a jewelry box.
Okay.
And the father was like, I just held on to this. I wasn't ready to give it to you yet, but I was supposed to give this to you upon your mother's death. And then once Bree gets it, when she opens it, it's kind of like she gets sent back in time.
Oh shit.
To where Bree's mother is with her at the age of like 6 at this like carnival. And she's telling her this whole thing. She's like, one day you're going to have to lose me.
Aww.
I won't be around because of X, Y, and Z.
Wow.
Don't be scared, kind of thing like that. Just like know your power. And the little girl, she's like, I don't understand. She's like, it's quiet time.
Wow.
You'll find out.
Wow.
And at this point, Bree's basically seeing it all in the third person way. And she's just like, it wasn't a murder. It just sucked, you know?
Yeah.
But without it, she wouldn't have found out about Root. She wouldn't have found out about her own magic, which I thought was so cool.
Yeah.
The fact that she could go through her ancestry and go in past and see her ancestors to the beginning of her and like helping her
It's
to fight the
definitely
demons.
got like
That's
a cool, like it does have a cool magic system. It's just my question, I guess, moving forward is like how much of King Arthur is it? You know what I mean?
Going forward,
Like,
you mean like after this? I don't know. But there's 3 books
no, I
total.
know, I know.
I've heard the magic system is one of the coolest.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just like reminded myself what the real lore of King Arthur is, and the real lore is like, you remember Excalibur?
Yeah.
So basically, King Arthur like kind of haphazardly pulls the sword out of the stone.
That's so funny.
And the lore of that was he will be the one who unites like the kingdoms between like Britain and the Saxons. So like, and then the betrayal of Lancelot with Guinevere, and like there was like all of that. Like it's all of these different like themes and shit like that. With you have all these like good group of friends that are there to help you, which is his 13.
So
And then you have the
who's
betrayal of
Lancelot
Lancelot
in this?
Lancelot's supposed to
I
be
think
Nick.
it's Nick.
Yeah.
And she's
listened.
Arthur.
Yeah.
So
So you
he's gonna
see
betray
why
her.
I mean
Yeah.
that he's not Endgame.
I didn't realize that
It's
she was
Selwyn.
Lancelot.
Yeah.
And because everyone wanted Arthur and Merlin to be a thing in the show.
And
good call.
Guinevere being say what's his name?
Selwyn's.
Selwyn's in love with both Lancelot and Arthur.
Oh.
It's like I called it from the jump. When
that.
Selwyn came in, I was like, "You're our boy. You're the one." And then when he wasn't, I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And they're having moments like they're having, like when he starts trusting her more, because from the jump he's like, "You're not what you say you are. You're
Yeah.
lying to me."
Yeah.
She's like, "What you talking about? I'm cool. I'm chill. Stop being a bully." Then they start like having a thing. He starts like trusting her. Then he has to find out about his own mother.
Right.
His mother goes
Yeah.
insane. And the twist at the end is Bree's mother and his mother know each other.
Oh.
And that's like a twist.
Interesting.
I think his mother helped Bree's
Yeah.
mom in some way.
I thought the characters
lot going
were pretty good. I thought Bree was a really interesting character. We should also mention like she's a black woman, you know, in a pretty predominantly white school, and I thought those
and the
scenes,
whole Legendborn, all of it is white.
I thought that was so interesting. Like when she was just like looking around, and she was just like, "I'm the only one that looks like me." And Nick was kind of like, "Oh, I'll protect you if something happens." And it's
Very
like,
white savior of him.
yeah. But I thought that was a really cool like aspect of her character, and I thought, you know,
So
it was nice.
that's another thing in the King Arthur like lore part is like every retelling, every reiteration of King Arthur is always white.
Of course.
And even like this is like based it's fictional, but it's based off of the medieval times.
Right.
And back then, black people were basically, you know, they were killed and put in unmarked graves. Like,
Jesus,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
That
Like
was
we're
harrowing.
talking about
That was harrowing in this book.
Yeah.
About how they just go to where this like part of the university is.
Yeah.
And the therapist that Bree's speaking to at the time, she's like, "These are all unmarked graves. These are all
Yeah.
black. This is our ancestors just here."
Damn.
But that kind of is a callback to that time period where King Arthur's legacy was born, or like the lore of that was born, and it's kind of like an ode to that. I think it makes sense for a retelling to have somebody that is Black.
Yeah, I like that these retellings are like finally, coming to light, and
Well, that's why people like this series. Is because it's
absolutely. I could totally see that. I thought it was so well written. Of the characters, the only character that I wish we got a little bit more of was her roommate. And like, I clearly didn't finish the book, so I don't know if something comes.
She comes in and helps.
Does she?
Towards the end, yeah. So she eventually Bree has to tell her what's happening.
Yeah,
and to help.
She did try in the beginning.
But she also, I think it's a tough time.
Yeah.
You're 16,
right,
thrust into a college setting.
That was so realistic to me, though, that like, the people that go to school with their best friend and like, we're going to be best friends. And then you meet other people, you
grow
start
separate.
Yeah. You start to like,
growing.
You meet other people that you kind of like do different things that you don't normally do. And you become part of different groups. And I think it's like really hard to adjust, and it's that time of your life. So I thought that was super well written.
I like the characters we had. I think the friend groups that Bree was making within the Legendborn were cool. We had the quintessential shitty dudes that didn't want her in because she was Black. We had a trans character.
Oh, really?
Non-binary, I would say.
What was their name?
I can't remember right now. I remember it sounded in a way that I couldn't pronounce well if I read it.
That's fair.
But they were really
some
fun.
of the names were hard.
Yeah, some of the names were
or
a
whatever.
little harder than I were for me. I don't know. I'm not the best.
I didn't not like this again. Like to me, it's just like
I think you're just tired of the genre, and it caught you at a time after.
It's not for fucking me, man.
I get it.
And like people shit
I think it's
on
the school side of things.
People shit on like romance, and like they're like it's the same thing over and over, and it's like, is it or is it like or is YA? Because it feels like YA is.
I think
and
they
read
all
a
are.
lot.
I think it's everything. I think it's everything. Everything's oversaturated.
I just don't like when like people shit on stuff, and it's just like your shit's not clean either.
No one's just clean.
True.
You know what I mean? Like your house isn't clean either. So like let's simmer down about what we're reading.
No, I hear you.
Well, I got the roles here.
Okay.
So the Scion is the oldest heir of each knight of the Round Table. If called, they gain their knight's enhanced abilities and affinity for the ether. That's what it's called, ether. Squires. Squires are Scions chosen battle partners. Pages are chosen by existing Scions or Squires to compete for the title of Squire. A vassal,
like below a fucking
like you're trying to get to Squire.
Yeah.
A vassal is a once-born family who's pledged themselves years and decades ago to one of the original 13 Legendborn bloodlines. They know about ether and supply resources to their lines. So they're kind of like...
I can't remember all that.
Yeah, it's a lot. So the vessels are people who are not like Legendborns, but they know of Legendborns.
Yeah.
And they facilitate. They're like sponsors. They provide like...
I could see why people would like this series, though.
Oh, yeah.
Viceroys are in charge of making...
I would like it.
Overseeing specific chapter. And it's... the Viceroys are like the Volturi in my eyes. Like
I think I would like this series. I just need to finish the book. I mean, I hate that I know the spoilers, but I actually do want to read like the second and third to just see what happens.
I think it's a fun book. I think my favorite part of it is Root. Like I loved Bree going in through her ancestry. I think also I can't remember what it reminded me of, but her going into her past and going into the past timelines and seeing her ancestors live through things reminded me of something else, and I loved seeing it. The witchy really cool. vibes of it were really cool. Her like
that's like deeply rooted in African culture, right? I think I read and saw
like
something.
Her grandmother comes in at one point, and she's sassy.
That's so cool.
And she's I think Root is my favorite part of it all. Like I don't really care about the Arthur King Arthur thing. If it was just a book about Root,
that's really neat.
I'm in, but I'm also into like witchy shit. So
I like the King Arthur side of things. I like
I don't give a shit about
I like
it.
that side of things. I like when there's
really
good twists.
for it.
That's fair. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know when or if I finish this.
But thank you guys for like asking us to read it for a while. Sorry it took us so long. I still liked it. I know we sound like we're bitching a lot about it, but it's late.
It is late.
I'm not bitching
and like
about
kiddos,
the book
I have a
itself.
bedtime.
Yeah, she's just mad about the genre.
You're
I'm just
about
mad about the
genres.
genre. I'm not mad about the book itself. I am annoyed with TikTok.
You have to delete it.
Just quit.
I'm going to.
You don't need
You
to
said
do
that
it.
last time.
You don't need an exit video. Why
No,
do you
no,
care?
I need to know what happens with Hurricane Milton.
Fine. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Books and Betches. If you would like to follow us on Instagram, just look up books_and_Betches, BETCHES. Let us know what you thought of this book. Do you like the King Arthur lore? And did you like
Were
the
you
book?
able to follow it better? Because for me, over my head.
Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah.
We love you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.